All right, in this video, we are going to talk about multiplying polynomials. More specifically, we're going to talk about multiplying monomials times polynomials. And so this is going to be a really good refresher on the distributive property. So we're going to kind of kill two birds with one stone. So here we go. So for our first example, we're going to do 6x times negative 3x minus 4. All right, so what this means is that we're multiplying 6x times everything inside the parentheses, negative 3x minus 4. So our first term, the 6x, it's only one term. And so what that is called is a monomial. All right, mono meaning one. Inside the parentheses, we have negative 3x minus 4. That is a binomial, obviously, because there are two terms. Okay, so this specific example, we are multiplying a monomial times a binomial. Now, how do we do that? Well, we use the distributive property. So we're going to take 6x and multiply by everything inside the parentheses. So we're going to multiply times the negative 3x, and we're going to multiply times the negative 4. So first, what is 6x times negative 3x? Well, obviously 6 times negative 3 is negative 18, and then x times x is going to give us x squared. Okay? So obviously anything times itself is going to be squared, but another way of looking at that is that both of these x's have a 1 understood as their exponent. And so if we know our laws of exponents, we know that we're going to add those exponents together. And so that's just another way to get to the same answer. So now we do 6x times negative 4. So obviously that's going to be negative 24. And this time we just have the x. The negative 4 doesn't have a variable with it. So we're just going to go ahead and put that x right next to negative 24. Okay, so our answer would be negative 18x squared minus 24x. All right, so that's just one simple example of how we would distribute with these polynomials whenever we multiply. So let's do another example. So this time we're going to multiply x times x squared plus 5x minus 2. And so that's all inside parentheses. So this time we're multiplying a monomial times a trinomial because inside the parentheses there are now 3 terms. Okay. So we're just going to do the same process. We are going to distribute this x to each term inside the parentheses. So to start off, we have x times x squared. So remember, there's really an understood 1 as an exponent on that x, okay? So knowing our laws of exponents, all we do is add the exponents. And so that's going to be x to the third power, or x cubed. Next, we're going to do x times 5x. So this time we're going to have plus 5x squared, okay? Because we really have a 1 right there. All right, and then lastly, we're going to do x times negative 2. And so that is just going to be minus or negative 2x. All right, so that is how you multiply monomials times binomials and trinomials. All right, we just use the distributive property, and we've got to know our laws of exponents, so it's good to refresh on that. But as long as you have that down, you just have to be careful about multiplying and dividing very carefully, making sure that you're paying attention to the signs in front of the numbers, and it's not too complicated. All right, so I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you next time.